Roy Wood Jr. and Dulce Sloan are in Atlanta this week taping episodes of The Daily Show with Trevor Noah as we gear up for the elections. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having us.
So let's talk a little bit about what we're sensing from the voters in Atlanta right now. Obviously, not just elections that are being watched there, but also across the nation.
Yeah, I think that what's happening in Atlanta, I think it's a microcosm for everything that's happening across the country. These elections are very close and voter turnout is very important. So I think it's about making sure that the show is here to bring attention to the issues so that people can have an opinion that's strong enough to actually show up to the polls for a change. Although Georgia, like they be mailing in these ballots left and right. Most people here that already voted, low key.
Like early
They'll
voting.
say, has your mama voted yet? Don't your mama live here?
Yeah, my mother. So I grew up here and in Miami. So I was joking that we were in Miami and then we were in it. Now we're in Atlanta, and it's like I know I'm Trevor's favorite, but he didn't have to bring a whole show, back to all the just to let people know, just to shine with the young, like, hey, she's amazing. Look what I did. I brought us back to the city. But early voting started like last week. So like my mother's already voted. A lot of my family has already voted because you have to vote early because now they're doing fun things like, they'll have like people in long lines. It'll just still be hot, on election day. So, they're trying to pass laws where you can't give people water while they're waiting in line or, trying to change polling locations or trying to take people off voter rolls or challenging your registration. That was a story that came out recently. So, yeah, my family voted early so they didn't have to deal with a lot of stunts and shenanigans on election day.
And go through, I mean, obviously this is probably like a 5-day conversation, but as far as politics and voting, it divides older voters, but a lot of the younger voters don't really see how their vote makes an impact, and it's tough to trying to get those younger voters out there to the polls. And how are you hoping that bringing the show down there this week? Obama was just there recently, as far as getting those hot topic issues into the minds of young voters and knowing that their vote makes a difference.
I know when I was in school and I, felt disillusioned, I was like, my vote doesn't matter. I had a teacher tell me, like an older white man at my professor at my college. He said to me, they're trying so hard to not let you do it. So it has to be important, because you think about the civil rights movement, people getting killed for trying to vote. And so he was like, look at this history of not just, Black people, but also of women or any marginalized group. All of the stunts that are being pulled, if voting wasn't important, no, they wouldn't do all of these things to try to interfere with your ability to be able to do it. So obviously it's extremely important. Also, if you've ever learned, I don't know how government works, like the people that you're mad at are the people that you elect in. So, having to explain to people, if you can elect them, if they can get elected in, they can get elected out. So it's the main thing. It's just like they're trying too hard to get you to stop you from being able to do it. So it's obviously no one stops you from doing anything that's not important.
Exactly. That is such a powerful statement right there. As far as some people that are running up for elections, not just in Atlanta, but across the nation. Obviously, there's some that say things that are outrageous and they make for great commentary or great for things to repost. But maybe that message to all the voters out there, especially like isn't just something to be entertained by on television, but electing these people or not voting could have real consequences.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that when you look at like even when you talk about across the country, you have a woman in Kari Lake who is running for governor of Arizona that isn't exactly leaning into a lot of the CRT stuff. You have don't say gay bills that have been passed in Florida. Like there's a lot of weird stuff happening in the country. It's just at the end of the day, our job at the Daily Show is to be able to bring you these issues, hopefully with a little bit of a punchline, so that you can at least kind of chuckle your way through this. Oh my God, what the hell is going on that's happening in the country?
Oh, exactly. Well, Roy, Dulce, thank you so much for your time today. Enjoy the last couple of weeks there with Trevor as the host of the show.
Thank you so
All right, will
much.
do. Thank
Thank
you.
you.